All right, sitting at the workbench today and looking at a studio setup that I've been playing with using my iPhone and a bunch of other accessories. And the main thing is I think I finally figured out a good solution, a good USB-C hub solution to power everything. It's this guy right here. Back when the iPhone 15 came out, I did a really detailed, comprehensive video about recording video using a USB-C hub. And at the time, it was brand new, and so I was using off-the-shelf hubs. And at the end of that video, I talked about how it was pretty much a Frankenstein rig and I didn't really know how to put it together. Well, cut to today, this is a 16 Pro Max, and I still have a Frankenstein-looking rig here, but these various components are now designed to work with this setup, USB-C and the iPhone 15 Pro, Pro Max, or the 16 Pro and Pro Max. And so they're getting much better, and they now have kits, of course, that are all-in-one solutions. This is more of an a la carte way to go, but it is one that I'm liking. And so today in this video, I'm gonna talk about everything I got set up going here and how I have it configured. All right, so I've got a top-down view here to hopefully see this better, but this is a cage. It's just a MagSafe cage for a moment. This is a Rode mic. This is a Lexar SSD drive. This is actually the mic, I should say. This is the transmitter, and that is the receiver. Got a couple tripods here, got an external monitor. Then the main thing that's allowing me to put all this together is this new hub here, a USB-C hub from Kondor Blue. Okay, everything's apart now. I've just got the cage left and the phone is still in the cage. And here is the hub. This is a USB-C media hub, that's what they call it. And this thing is built like a tank. Kondor Blue makes really good, and I would say on the higher end accessories for traditional cameras, traditionally speaking, but they've started dipping their toe into mobile filmmaking, and this is one of the initial accessories. If you watch Tyler Stallman, this is an accessory that goes with the grip he made. It's a vertical grip for iPhone. I don't have that, and I don't shoot much vertical video, but this really is designed to go with that. However, as I showed earlier, you can use this in a variety of different ways. It has a 1/4-20 on the bottom, so you can mount it however you want. And then it has a cold shoe on top, which is great. And then on the side here, it has a USB-C. That's the main USB-C plug. And then on the back here, it has 3 other USB-C ports and an HDMI port. And that's what's really cool. You've got one port for power, so you can put a battery power bank. You've got an audio port, and then you've got a data port. Plug it in an SSD, and then again, HDMI. And so for third-party apps like Blackmagic, that's what I'm running, you can send out a video signal, and it turns your phone into a very professional setup. Now, at the beginning, I called this a studio-style setup, and one of the reasons I said that is I'm using a MagSafe cage. And so I like these a lot in my studio. I don't love them out in the field because, for obvious reasons, your phone can fall off, and so that wouldn't be great. But the rig that I'm going to build here, you could build it on any cage pretty much. I'm just demoing it here with this particular cage. And so I've got a screw on the side here. The nice thing about these cages, they have tons of 1/4-20s. And so this is a 2-sided 1/4-20 screw, and this has a 1/4-20 on the backside. And so I just connect this, and now you've got the hub connected to the cage. All right, so now we'll connect the first thing, and Blackmagic is kind of freaking out right now because I unplugged the Lexar drive that I had connected earlier. And so it does that till you reconnect it. So disregard that. But what I'm going to do first is plug in the USB-C cable that goes into the phone, connect it back to the MagSafe, and then you want to make sure you pick the right one here. And for the main phone, you want to go into the top. Now, if I had an L cable, that'd be nice, but I don't. But that goes in right there, and then that connects your phone to the hub, and you got that blue light showing you're connected. So now to get rid of this blinking stuff, we'll go ahead and connect this drive. This is a Lexar drive, a little SSD. This is the actual drive right here, and you can see how small it is. And I could technically just connect it in like that, but then it would block the other ports. Or you could just connect it into your phone. But in this example, we're obviously using a bigger setup. And so in this situation, I'm using the hub. And so the hub is connected to a clamp that comes with this kit, the Lexar kit. And I made a video about this, by the way, if you're interested. But this is essentially a cold shoe adapter. And so I'll plug the SSD into the hub, and then I'll connect it to this cold shoe on the back here. So now that's connected. And then here you want to make sure you pick the right port, and you want to pick the data port. And now we're good. Next up, I'll grab the microphone. This is a Rode Wireless Pro, and it's got a cold shoe mount on the back, and there's a cold shoe on the cage, and so I'm just going to connect it there. This is the receiver. And then again, you want to make sure you choose the right port on the hub, and it's marked. There's one right here that says audio. It's in the middle. And so I'm going to run that cable under here and go right into the audio. Now I've got the audio plugged in. You can see the meters going there. And when I go up, it says Rode Wireless Pro receiver. But now the audio is working. And so the actual transmitter is right here. And I would, of course, clip this on my shirt, or you could run a lav mic out of it and use it that way. But these mics are great to use with iPhones or traditional cameras as well. Last thing with this setup is I'm using an external monitor. Now, I don't use external monitors a lot, but it is nice to have that option. And again, if you're in a studio, let's say you're shooting with your iPhone and you want to see yourself and you don't want to use the selfie camera, then having an external monitor is imperative. And so all you do, that's the beauty about this USB-C adapter, is I've got an HDMI going into the monitor and you just plug it in. I'll power this on. And now I've got the monitor connected to the rig. Now, occasionally I'm getting these little glitches, I will say that. And I haven't used this enough to know whether it's just my monitor, this is a several-year-old monitor, or whether it's the way this is sending out a signal from the Blackmagic app. And I haven't tested it with other third-party apps. It works 95% of the time, but occasionally you do get a little glitch. It doesn't affect your video though, but it does affect the monitor occasionally. So just something to pay attention to. And then the last thing I could attach, I've got a battery right here. This is a pretty big bulky battery, but it's 100 watt and it will really power a lot of stuff, including lights, etc. But I'm not gonna hook that up right now, but if I wanted to, all I would need to do is plug it into that right there. This isn't, again, the most ideal battery for this setup, but if you're in a studio, it'll work fine. If I was out in the field with this, I would use a smaller Anchor style battery, and that way it would power the whole system. But it is nice to have that extra port for power input. And then the last thing I want to show is I've got a couple other mounts here. This has a cold shoe and a 1/4-20 on that side. And this also has a cold shoe and a 1/4-20. This one is more static, straight up and down. And this one will rotate and move. And so what you could use this for is mounting the USB-C hub to a different cage. You could put it on top, you could put it on the side. With this one, you could actually put it underneath the rig. You could put it under the handle and just route stuff that way. So there's several different ways to rig it. I will say though, as I said in my original video, before I had all this kind of gear, is there's no real pretty way to set this up. It's definitely a Frankenstein looking contraption. If you want to have a more elegant setup, you need to get a system that is an all-in-one setup, like the grip I reviewed from Freewell, or Moment has a new cage that's all-in-one. Ultimately, just like with a more larger traditional camera, you're gonna have stuff hanging off the rig. That's just the way it really is. But I'm pretty happy with this USB-C hub, and so I do recommend it if you're looking for a solution to trick out your camera with all these kind of accessories. For some, this will be too much, totally understand. Some people might just want to do the Lexar portable SSD, and that's totally fine. And Kondor Blue has an SSD, I think it's called SSD Blade, that goes into a grip that you can use as well. So there's really countless options out there today, but I do like this new USB-C hub, and so if you're interested, got a link in the description. Thanks for watching. This is Blake Calhoun. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.